sports.
We are Blackmore. We are South.
It's a beautiful day for baseball in Philadelphia. Big crowd filing into Citizens Bank Ballpark. It's the Fanatics' birthday, and we're fanatical about good baseball. We saw that yesterday from the Atlanta Braves, who even the series had a game apiece, try to win it outright today here in the city of brotherly love. Hi, friends. Chip and Joe. What a nice ball game turned in by the Braves. New look to the offense, familiar results. The way the Braves started this season, lots of wins, lots of hits piled up, and the end result, a 5-2 victory.
It was a great flashback to the first week of the season when the Braves were doing everything right, pitching, defense, and timely hitting. That's kind of what happened with the Braves last night. Even though they fell behind on the Ryan Howard 2-run homer, they were able to come back, and I think they got sparked by Andrelton Simmons' home run leading off the seventh. Everybody kind of picked it up from there. But I liked what happened with the lineup yesterday. I like those guys at the top of the order that Freddie put up there, and those three guys are still at the top of the order today. New cleanup hitter, so another different lineup. But a sign yesterday of the team getting back to the way they played earlier.
Great work by the bullpen, too, for Atlanta. I was happy to see Jim Johnson have a scoreless outing after what's frankly been a rough road trip for him.
Yeah, and Cody Martin did his thing for an inning in, too. He continues to pitch great baseball, and it had been a while since Jason Grilli had been out there, but he did the job again, 7 for 7 in saves.
It's early in the season, Joe. What does a series win mean for this Braves ball club quickly?
Well, it means going home with a good taste in your mouth. Good series win in Toronto. Go home with a good series win. Get ready to take on the Nats.
Beautiful day for baseball. Pitchers, lineups, Game 3 coming up.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
Beautiful day for a ball game in Philadelphia. Partly cloudy skies, gentle breeze blowing straight in, and 54 degrees is the temperature here at Citizens Bank Ballpark as the Braves and Phillies wrap up this 3-game series. Braves played a great game yesterday, won the game 5-2. Shelby Miller earned his 3rd straight decision. Let's hope Trevor Cahill can win his first today with this Academy Sports and Outdoor starting 9. Nick Markakis back in the leadoff spot for the 2nd consecutive game. Andrelton Simmons got the scoring started with a home run last night. Got to get Freddie Freeman going. Kelly Johnson's the cleanup man today. Jace Peterson should see a lot of regular play at second base, says Freddie Gonzalez. And Christian Bethancourt, day game after night game, gets the start in harness against a man that's really transformed his career since joining the Philadelphia Phillies. That's right-hander Jerome Williams.
Yeah, he was with 3 teams last year. Jerome was with the Astros. He's with the Texas Rangers, got released. Phillies signed him, pitched pretty well for Philadelphia after he came over here. This year, 3 starts, good numbers, 17 innings, only 3 walks against 13 strikeouts. League's got some hits off of him, including 4 home runs, but he's pitching pretty good baseball. 33 years old, 6'3", 260 out of Honolulu. And I'll tell you, Chip, if a fight breaks out today with the Braves, you don't want to mess with this battery. Cameron Rupp behind the plate is 6'2", 255. So between the two of them, that's some heavyweights between the mound and home plate.
Williams out of Hawaii, sporting a pink glove today.
To support the memory of his mother, who passed away a couple of years ago from breast cancer.
So a noble gesture for Jerome Williams as Nick Markakis gets ready to go for the Braves here in the first. He's had a marvelous road trip, and Nick has hit safely in 10 of his last 12 games overall. First pitch of the day is low and outside, and we're underway. Mike DeMuro has the plate. And a strike to Markakis.
Low 90s fastball for Williams. Throws a cutter, slider, and a changeup.
Right off his hands and fouled away. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that was a cutter that was boring in on his hands.
See if the Braves can pick up a hit before the 5th inning in this series. That hasn't happened in the first 2 games. Aaron Harang was terrific in game 1 as the Phillies won in walk-off fashion, 1-0. Braves got their first hit last night on a Johnny Gomes 5th inning double. David Buchanan, the tough luck loser for the Phillies, now 0-4 on the year. And that's off the plate for a full count. Markakis doing what he does, working the count.
Talked about it in our opening comments, but the good baseball displayed by this team last night, I think, made everybody remember what they had done to get off to that 6-1 start.
And Markakis coaxes a leadoff walk to start the game. Little things. I mean, this team, as we've said, is not built to hit a lot of home runs. They're not built to put together big innings with one swing of the bat. They have to do the little things to manufacture offense and take advantage of other teams' mistakes.
Well, Nick, again, with another good at bat, he just doesn't give away at bats. And he made Williams work and eventually coaxed a walk out of him to start the game.
And that'll bring up Andrelton Simmons, hitting second again today. He's the club leader with 11 RBIs. His first homer here in Philadelphia last night. And he's hit safely in 8 of his last 9 games. That's outside, and Cameron Rupp, the Philly catcher, out for a visit with the Philly starter.
Yeah, David Buchanan was pitching a beautiful game last night, going into the 7th inning, and then gave up this homer to Andrelton to lead off the 7th. You could tell by Buchanan's reaction, he knew where that was going to land. And the Braves went on to get 2 more hits. Draw a couple of walks and put 3 runs on the board.
Yeah, most of that damage coming with 2 outs. So something else the Braves have done very well. Line drive to third. Hard hit ball, but right at Cesar Hernandez, who's starting at the hot corner, and there's the first out of the game. Here's the man we got to get going. Can't remember the last time we said Freddie Freeman was in a 1-for-18 slide at the plate.
Yeah, with a bunch of strikeouts. He didn't fan last night. Put the bat on the ball last night, so little steps to get going again.
Swings the first pitch, does Freeman, and that's popped up to short. Galvis drifts out, battling the sun, and he's got it. And Freeman's out number 2 on the first pitch of his day. Markakis back to first. And here's the cleanup man, Kelly Johnson.
Kelly's got good numbers against Williams. 8 for 21.
Kelly's hit a couple of homers. As you know, he's knocked in 3 runs. And Williams missed low and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
Jerome Williams, 49-game winner in the big leagues, gets 55 losses. Last year had a 3.03 ERA with Philadelphia once they signed him.
That's too high, ball 3.
Kelly got a green light last night, 3-0. Let's see if he gets another one.
He thought that was a little low. Instead, it's a 3-1 count.
Sherwin-Williams painting the corners here on Sunday afternoon. A sinker caught the bottom of the zone.
Second walk of the inning for Jerome Williams, who'd only walked 3 men all year coming into today's play. That's an encouraging start, and that brings up Mr. 2-out production, Johnny Gomes. Key play in the game last night, as Joe mentioned, were the 2 2-out walks. Gomes earned the first of those against Buchanan, and then came home on Chris Johnson's pinch hit single.
We mentioned this last night after the game, Chip, about today's game and how nice it would be, how instrumental it might be if the Braves got on the board early for Trevor Cahill, gave him a little room to work.
Gomes took a strike. He's coming off a 2-hit 1-run game last night. Another area where the Braves have been so drastically improved over last season. This team's hitting .306 this year with runners in scoring position. 70 points higher than last season. And Gomes has had a big hand in that. No balls and a strike. Sharply hit up the middle. Galvis dives, tumbles, keeps it on the infield. Saved a run in doing so, but it's an infield hit for Johnny Gomes. Galvis turned in a circus play last night and almost another one in the first inning today.
Yeah, he was really playing Gomes over to his right in the hole, playing him to pull. So he had a long way to go. But in this instance, what you want to see your infielders do is knock the ball down with a runner at second and 2 out. He did that, and as you said, saved a run.
Lost his glove, too. So the Braves do have a first inning hit. They've got the bases loaded for Jace Peterson. He's at 171 for the year. And a strike. Ground ball right side and past Utley. 1 run scores. Here comes Kelly around third. The throw from Francoeur is cut off. And Jace Peterson with a 2-out hit. And the Braves cash in 2 first-inning walks to give Trevor Cahill an early lead.
I said last night that one of the things Jace Peterson needed to do is quit hitting so many balls in the air. He's not a home run hitter, and he needed to hit line drives, get on top of the ball, hit some ground balls. Well, he finds a hole here with a ground ball, and it's a big hit.
So the Braves keep up their good hitting with runners at second and third this year. Peterson's third and fourth runs batted in. The Braves lead by 2 with 2 outs, and that brings up Christian Bethancourt. See if he can snap out of an 0 for 14 funk at the plate. 1 ball, no strikes.
There's something else. If I've got a chance to drive in a run, I want Kelly Johnson at second base when I get a base hit. He really runs the bases well and can cut third base as well as anybody coming around that corner.
Ground ball foul. Nice play by Bo Porter, the Braves' third base coach. And we're even at a ball and a strike. A.J. Przinsky has started 7 of the last 10 games behind the plate. Chance for Bethancourt to get some action today. The Braves are still hoping he takes advantage of a tremendous opportunity to earn the bulk of the playing time behind the plate. But right now, that man has played better.
That man has played better. He's swinging a hot bat.
High fly ball hammered toward left center field. Revere on the track is going to get there. The wind may have played some tricks with that. Bethancourt hit it sharply, and the Braves cash in a couple of first-inning walks and take a 2-run early lead. Hill goes to work now against the 6-12 Phillies, whose lineup is presented by Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg. Shapes up this way. Jeff Francoeur is the cleanup man on their Academy Sports and Outdoors 9. He's homered against Trevor Cahill in his career. Rupp and Hernandez, new additions to the lineups, and let's hope Trevor take advantage of this early offensive bounty.
Yeah, he is making his third start, 27 years old, 6'4", 240. 2-0 here in this ballpark in 2 starts with a 1.93 ERA and a low batting average against. That's a good sign for him. And his 4 keys to pitching success today. Number 1, he went 4 strong innings in New York, add 2 to it today. Stretch it out a little bit, continue what he started in New York, plus 2 innings. And right-handed hitters have been hitting him pretty hard. They're 8 for 16 against him. Lefties just 2 for 13.
And a lefty is Ben Revere, and he takes a strike.
So that sinker to right-handers has not been placed well. Maybe starting away and coming back to the middle of the plate. Make some better pitches with that and your slider today to right-handers.
A little tight to Revere, who's hitting $180 for the Phillies. Revere 1 for 8 so far in the series. Sharply hit. Peterson deflected it off his shoulder, and Revere will reach.
I don't know where it got him, but I know it didn't feel good.
Infield hit.
Might have got him in a couple of places.
So Revere's aboard. He's a threat to steal. He's got 5 swipes this year, and Odubel Herrera, the Phillies center fielder, bats. He's made a couple of fine catches in the outfield for the Phillies. Has had a pair of first inning hits. And this one skied towards shallow left. Gomes coming on, can't get there. He's going to fire to second, and in time to force Revere. Another great play by Johnny Gomes in left, and Ryan Sandberg might want to challenge this call at second.
Well, Johnny made it look like he was going to be able to catch this ball, had his glove out, and then a perfect throw to Peterson, who acted like a first baseman. And as a result, no base hit for Herrera. It'll go as a force out.
And no challenge from Ryan Sandberg. So fine play by Johnny Gomes. There's your first out. And here comes Chase Utley.
2 assists for him in 2 games.
How concerned are the Phillies about Chase Utley hitting $125 18 games into the season?
Extremely concerned. I mean, just what we've noticed in 2 games. 1 for 6, but last night it was obvious that there just wasn't a whole lot working with his lower half. Everything was just his hands and arms.
Utley needs 6 RBIs for 900 in his major league career. Runner goes. Bethancourt's throw, short hopped and dropped by Simmons. Herrera, ball, and Simmons got to the bag at the same time. Major collision, and Herrera's in safely.
A pitch almost as good as a pitch out for Bethancourt, but a short hop handled initially by Simmons, but he couldn't hang on to it. Did a good job of blocking Herrera off the bag, trying to find the baseball, then did an atomic elbow on him.
A flying elbow drop.
Yeah. Dusty Rhodes have been very proud.
So an RBI chance for Utley, who's ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. That missed low. 3 balls, no strikes. Despite horrible knee problems for Utley the last couple of years, last year he led all National League second basemen in games, doubles, RBIs, extra base hits, walks, and times on base.
And see, that doesn't surprise me. For him to come back and be that guy, that's who he's always been. This year there's something else going on. I'm sure the Phillies are just trying to chalk it up to a slow start at this point.
And Cahill walked in. An infield hit, a force out, and now a walk. Has 2 on with 1 out for Jeff Francoeur. Jeff's had a nice series, hit the ball all over the diamond. He's got a couple of hits. And as Joe mentioned, he's hit a home run against Trevor Cahill in his major league career. Two on, 1 out. Ball 1. Something else Jeff has done is starting to cut down on his strikeouts. He has struck out once in this series, but 9 in his first 48 official at bats. He does like to swing early in the count. That certainly helps his cause. And that one's yanked into the seats. Well out of play, even count.
I like the adjustment and change he's made in his stance. He just looks more relaxed. His feet a little closer together.
High fly ball to left. Gomes is going back. He's on the warning track, and he's going to have room. Francoeur just missed.
Just got under it a little bit. But even in this ballpark, when you do that, you've got a chance for a home run. The flags are pretty limp right now. They were blowing in straight in from center field. So if there's any breeze left, it may have helped hold that ball up just like it did Bethancourt.
No wind would have stopped Ryan Howard's drive here last night, as Joe called it, and rightfully so. It was a 1-iron over the center field fence off Shelby Miller. That gave the Phillies an early 2-0 lead. Howard's hit 48 career homers against the Braves now. And he was fooled badly on that pitch. Strike 1.
Trevor needs badly to get out of this inning unscathed and carry a little confidence into the second inning. Again, he's got a 2-run lead. Ran into some trouble here in the first, but 1 out away from pitching out of it.
Breaking ball, then changeup. It looked like 0-2.
Changeup there was in a really good spot, just down right behind the plate.
Braves have a shift, and Howard took a ball low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
No ground balls yet. Had a bunch of them in New York early on. Needs one here.
And that's where he's missing his glove side to lefties and righty hitters alike.
Yeah, he's pulling that slider especially. He got Howard to check his swing on it the first time for a strike, but it was a ball.
Herrera and Utley will be running with 2 outs. There they go. And Howard unloads deep right. Markakis will watch that one sail out of here. Ryan Howard does it again. Unbelievable.
Oh, 2 to a hanging off-speed pitch on a 3-2 count.
.49 homers for Howard against the Braves, his second homer of the series. And just like that, the Phillies are up a run. Freeman to Cahill, who got a wide toss at first, but that takes care of Cesar Hernandez. Wild first inning. Phillies are now in front. 3-2 your score. We go to the second. Regular season play. That man's coming to Atlanta 3 times this year. He's made his presence felt in this series. Ryan Howard with a long homer has given the Phillies a 3-2 lead after 1. So Williams new life, and he'll face the 8-9 one-hitters for the Braves in this second inning.
We had the trivia question Friday night about who had the most homers and RBIs against Atlanta since they moved to Atlanta, and it was Johnny Bench. I think it was 54 homers. Ryan Howard is closing in.
Off the thumbs, and Ryan Howard off the tip of his glove can't make the play, and Eric Young will reach to start the second. We'll see how that's scored. Ryan's a big man coming back from Achilles problems. He does not have the range and mobility that he used to have, despite getting in tremendous shape this offseason. He's a lot leaner than we've seen him in recent years.
I was just thinking about how much better would Eric Young got on that bunt the other day than he did on that full swing just now.
Yes. Longest bunt in baseball history the other day. In New York, Cahill trying to move him along. One's pushed up the first base line, and Howard lets it roll foul. Well, despite the dwindling production for Ryan Howard, it's worth noting over the last 10 years he's second in baseball and second in homers and third in RBIs in the entire major leagues over the last 10 years. This is still an elite run producer for the Phillies.
And for a while, it was nothing but 40 and 50 homers a year.
Cahill swung away. Now he's behind 0-2.
I don't know if he did that on his own, but he wasn't getting pressured, heavy pressure, especially from Ryan Howard, who was still back near the bag. He had room to bunt.
And he couldn't get it down with 2 strikes. The swinging strike 2, the key sequence in that at bat. 1 on, 1 out.
Trevor squared around more or less. He turned his upper body and had the bat facing the pitcher, but then gradually, as the pitcher's about to throw the pitch, watch the bat come back, where the angle of it is almost pointed straight back to the catcher, so it's almost impossible to get the ball down and get it fair, that bat angle.
Extra pine tar for Nick Markakis after he walked and scored the first run of the game for the Braves today. Nick's been on base 4 times out of the last 5 times he's gone to the plate in the leadoff spot. And a very close play chased Young back to first.
Williams is very, very close to balking by not pausing. When he comes set, it's right on the borderline of just a continuation to the plate. This time.
That's usually what the umpires, as I was to say, that's what the umpires look for. Routine. Do you do it the same way every time? He doesn't. And here's Markakis again. A 7-pitch walk in his first at bat, and he's run the count to 3-1. So I told you last night, leading off is not a strange assignment for Nick Markakis. Batted first all year last year for the Orioles. 3 balls and a strike. Ground ball toward Utley. Funny hop, stayed with it, and Galvis the turn. Nice play. And the inning is over. The Braves got a leadoff hit, could not cash it in, and the Phillies maintain their 3-2 lead.
for the first time since Tuesday. Christian Bethancourt. A.J. Brzezinski getting a lot of playing time, has been hitting the ball really well. And I asked Christian about that, and he said he understands it. Freddie Gonzalez had said earlier that he wants Christian behind the plate, but maybe this is a little bit of a reminder that you still have to earn it. And when I talked to Christian, it's exactly what he said. He said, I get it. I'm not mad. I'm just trying to make sure that I am ready to take advantage of my next opportunity when it comes.
Yeah, Jenny has no place to be mad or somewhat upset because of the way AJ's playing. AJ's made it clear, I'm not here to take your job, but AJ is here to win and do his best when he's on the field. And if Bethancourt is smart, he will learn from AJ.
Sunday hop for Andrelton Simmons, who takes care of Cameron Rupp for out number 1.
And perhaps more importantly, learn from these veterans that are on this ball club right now what it takes to be a major league player day in and day out over a 162-game schedule.
Do you see there a difficult balance, if there's a balance at all, between developing and winning with this year's Braves team? Because there are some young players who are getting big-time opportunities to play and maybe won't succeed as well as we would like in the early days of the year. So how do you balance those two seemingly conflicting ideals?
Well, I think you got to do the same thing like they're doing with Jace Peterson. Jace has gotten off to a slow start, but Freddie's picking and choosing his spots where he might have a chance to succeed and get back on track. And then, you know, like today, he gets a 2-run single. If this propels him into a real hot streak, then you're going to see him out there more. Callaspo was hot. He had to play. Alberto cooled off. Now Jace is getting another opportunity. So those opportunities come along. You've just got to keep working harder to be ready for your opportunity so that you can get in a hot streak.
There's a ground ball, but this one's up the middle by Freddie Galvis. And that's the third Phillies hit. That brings up Jerome Williams. Galvis, by the way, is having a good start. He's hitting .330 or so now. He's doing that, batting down in the lineup for the Phils. Williams 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts. He's not successfully sacrificed yet this year.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but when Utley was going through all those problems with his knees, Galvis played a lot of second base, and they raved about him at second base too.
There's the bunt, and there's only one play, and Cahill will make it to first. Sacrifice first of the year for Williams. Galvis to second, and Ben Revere the hitter.
Right out in front and up in front of the box too. You get up in the front of the box so that if you do happen to bunt it straight down in the ground, it's going to be in fair territory.
Revere had an infield hit. Ricocheted off Jace Peterson to start the game. Then he was forced out on a fly ball to left. And way outside. Look at the lead Galvis is getting. I mean, he's almost halfway to third base.
I thought he was going because he got a walking lead, kept extending it, and Cahill didn't look at him, and I thought he was gone. There's that same pitch you talked about, Chip. Trying to make a pitch with a a back foot slider to these lefties, but it's starting inside, and then no chance for the hitter to offer. He's trying to get out of the way.
Revere almost swung out of his shoes. Might have hurt himself. He swung so hard on that offering. 2 balls and a strike. Ben was born in Atlanta, May 3rd of '88. Grew up in Kentucky, and a ground ball to Freeman. He bobbled that. Cahill wins the race to the bag, and that retires the side. No runs, a hit, a man left. Simmons, Freeman, and Kelly Johnson are coming up. Phillies are up a run.
Been swinging the bat well lately. That's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot. You see what he's done with 2 outs, runners in scoring position. He's not been afraid to bring it, and one of the things he's done well, guys, this season especially, has been able to go the opposite field. He's gotten a lot of balls over there. In fact, 6 of his 17 hits have gone that way, 5 to right, 1 to right center, and he told me that has been a focus. It's something he's definitely worked on, and it's about recognition and finding a way to wait and still get that good part of the bat on the ball.
That's a great point, Jen. This is something the Braves have asked Anderson to really concentrate on dating back to last year. If he can do that, he would be a great find for this ball club to hit in the second spot in the batting order.
Yeah, no reason why he can't.
One of the reasons why Freddie Gonzalez made the dramatic lineup changes he did was Braves leadoff men 29th in on-base percentage going into play last night. Number 2 hitters, worst in baseball collective batting average and on-base percentage. It's hopeful that Markakis and Simmons, at least in the near term, can turn that around and jumpstart the Braves offense to have man aboard for Freddie Freeman and Pierzynski and Bethancourt and Gomes and others.
That was the whole idea behind this adjustment, this overhaul of this lineup. Instead of sitting around waiting for 3-run homers and not really being able to manipulate the lineup in any real fashion, if you wanted to do some adjustments last year, go with hot hands, put some guys up there who can get on base, put some hits together. As Freddie says, keep the line moving. This year's going to take 3 or 4 hits, maybe a couple of hits and a walk, to manufacture some runs.
That's exactly what happened in the first. Couple of walks, couple of singles. The Braves scored a pair. Ryan Howard hit a 3-run homer to give the Phillies their current lead of 3-2. Galvis at short. Tricky hop stayed with him. He's got a good arm. And Simmons is retired for out number 1. Freddie Freeman 0 for 8 in the series, 1 for his last 19.
Just watching Johnny Gomes right before that pitch. He's due up 4th this inning, and I was just thinking if he doesn't get up there fast, he's going to squeeze all the sawdust right out of that bat.
We had the video of the handle of his bat with the sticker. I can just see that the bird's eyes bulging out. See, grabs the bat handle on the Braves bench. There's a shot down the left field line for Freeman. And that's going to bounce into the corner. And he's on his way to second base. His first hit of the series represents the game tying run. So Freddie with his fourth double.
Target away. Tried to run a sinker away, but it didn't sink enough. It stayed flat. So he was able to reach it and put a good swing on it. Hopefully that'll get him going.
Kelly Johnson, as Joe mentioned, 8 for 21 against Jerome Williams. That's why he's in the lineup and why he's hitting fourth. Chance for his fourth RBI and to tie the game. 3-2 Phillies. We're in the third. And a strike. Sharply hit and past Ryan Howard off the heel of his glove. That'll bounce to the fence down the right field line. Freeman will score. Kelly Johnson's aboard safely, and the Braves have tied it up. So the lineup construction for Freddie Gonzalez works to perfection. Give Kelly Johnson a base hit. And the Braves 3 for 4 with men in scoring position today.
Again, the ball's staying up and flat on his movement, much like what Trevor Cahill's been battling. And Kelly able to turn on it and pick up his fourth RBI.
Johnny Gomes reached on an infield hit back in the first. He'd like to put the Braves in front. He's knocked in 7 runs. The pitch to him is up and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Very patriotic sticker on his bat.
Johnny's 3 for 4 at the plate in the series. Popped up, long run, Howard, foul ground. He got there. And Freddie, or I should say, Kelly Johnson faked a tag, but no advance. And Gomes pops out for out number 2. Jace has a 2-out RBI hit. How about another one? That hit snapped an 0 for 12 for the Braves second baseman. Freddie Gonzalez said before the game today that Chase is going to get much more regular playing time. He's going to stick with him at second for a while. Right center field, shallowly hit. Herrera, with the glasses gleaming, will make the play, and that retires the side. Back-to-back doubles by Freddie Freeman and Kelly Johnson tie up game 3 at 3. T-Mobile game changer. It's first baseman Freddie Freeman.
He's right-handed pitching since 2013. I like all those doubles to go with the homers, and he just doubled it and scored a run here in the third inning to tie the game up. But yeah, he can wear some right-handers out.
Odubel Herrera, Chase Utley, Jeff Francoeur coming up for the Phils. So that missed, I guess, high. 1 ball, no strikes.
This guy reminds me of Jose Reyes in the way he's built, his speed, former infielder. The Phillies are hoping he can do for them and be disruptive for them offensively like Reyes is for Toronto now.
Dynamic player for a team that could use some of that. Phillies, very expensive and old team. Still good players, but $145 million payroll for a club that's not expected to win 60 games this year. And here's Cahill flirting with trouble and a 4-pitch walk after the Braves tie the game.
Let's check out our Sherwin-Williams painting the corners. It shows it on the graphic a strike. The way that was caught and where it was caught, I'm not so sure about that. Looked pretty low. That's another area where Christian can learn from AJ in terms of how to receive close pitches and frame pitches to try to get strikes.
Runner goes. The pitch a ball. The throw to second is saved by Simmons, who reached across his body and applied the tag to take care of Herrera.
And another great pitch to throw on for Christian. And this time Anderson's able to handle the short hop. Great job.
He is so good at applying that quick tag no matter where the throw's received. That was like a viper strike on the hand of Herrera to gun him down for the first time this year. So the bases are empty for Utley, who has a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Utley walked and scored ahead of the Howard homer in the first. And out of play, 1-2.
Phillies were out early today. Neither team took batting practice on the field, but the Phillies took infield practice. That was fun to watch. Larry Boa doing all the work for 2 or 3 rounds of infield.
Utley, a liner to second. Peterson to his left made the play. And there's good reason for that. Phillies defensively have really had a rough start this year. They were errorless last night, but have committed 17 errors this year and 5 in the last 4 games. And like the Braves, they're a team that cannot afford to give away extra outs.
Yeah, and even on a Sunday when you're not going to hit on the field, it's a good way to get the guys out on the field and in uniform, get the blood flowing.
As a kid, that was my favorite part about coming to a Sunday game. I used to love to watch the coaches hit the fungos. As that one's foul to the right, Francoeur might have broken his bat. The best part was watching the coach hit the fungo on the pop-up to the catcher. How high could the guy hit it? And it was unbelievable, the wizardry they had with the bat to make perfect contact, hit the ball about 150 feet in the air, and to watch the catchers in the bright sunshine stagger under that ball and make the play. That is a long-lost art.
Yeah, there are some guys that are magicians with it.
Oh, 2 to Frenchie, and in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Boy, he is just yanking that breaking ball to that side.
And That's in the dirt, 2-2. We were talking.
That's 2 in a row. There was no adjustment made there.
Remember in New York, we were talking with Freddie Gonzalez about Trevor Cahill, and it was said that at times during his days with the Diamondbacks, he'd lose his arm slot from pitch to pitch, inning to inning. He could never keep it consistent. Might be the case today. Talking about that with Billy Ryan, who is in New York with Ball Club. He's the Braves director of baseball operations. That's one of the scouting reports he had for Trevor Cahill. We've seen evidence of that today. Pitches down and away to right-handers, down and into lefties. 45 pitches, 23 strikes. Now the ball strike count is even.
That one was a changeup. That wasn't a breaking ball, but that's 3 balls in the dirt and this one at bat. All off-speed pitches.
And Francoeur is called out on strikes. He was on his way to first base and can't believe that call. Jeff Francoeur is rung up, and the Phillies are out in the 3rd inning. We go to the 4th. 3-3 is your score. On the Fanatic's birthday. Hope you'll join us and have a ball with the Kroger 4-game plan. A bobblehead 4-game plan is available. You get all 4 of the bobbleheads this year, starting with the Javi Lopez model, May 20th, when the Tampa Bay Rays come a-calling. Get your bobblehead 4-game plan now by visiting Braves.com/4game. A strike to Christian Bethancourt as we start the 4th inning. 3-3 game. Braves try to win the series from the Phillies today. And a little flare in a shallow right. Francoeur can't get there. So blue pit for Bethancourt. That snaps his long hitless streak at 0 for 15. And a good start to the Braves' 4th inning.
And see, if you haven't played in a few days like Bethancourt, and he hit that ball hard his first time up, and he gets a flare to drop in, all of a sudden you feel like, okay, I'm all right. I'm not lost or that far behind or anything. My timing's still good.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. You sit on an 0 for 14 for 4 or 5 days, wonder, am I ever going to get another hit, right?
Yeah, that part eats at you because you want to put that behind you and get some hits on the board and get that 1 off of your batting average that's at the front. So 1 strike for Eric Young. And now
0-2. Wind's changed a bit. It's not blowing in anymore. Ever so slightly out. As we look at the flags in left center. It was straight in about an hour before the ball game. Runner goes. Good jump. Ball put in play to the pitcher, and Williams will have the play at first. So Bethancourt at second. Young retired 1-3. And Trevor Cahill, the batter, with Bethancourt in scoring position.
That was an interesting, if that was a hit and run play, it was an interesting time to do it with the pitcher coming up.
Fly ball center, but right at Herrera. He's got to drift back and make the grab. Bethancourt's going to tag, and he's going to move up to third base. Cahill put a charge into the ball, but he's the second out.
This guy Herrera is kind of learning on the job in center field. They've been working real hard with him to get good breaks, get good jumps on balls. That one was a hard one to read. Cahill jumped on that ball, but Herrera made a nice play on it.
Markakis with 2 outs. He's walked, scored, and hit into a double play. And Rupp, a nice stop. 1 ball, no strikes. Braves host the Nationals tomorrow night. First of 3 with the Nats. Then the Reds and Phillies. Nice long homestand for the Braves. Hope you'll join us. Braves are home April 27th through May the 6th.
I'm looking forward to some warmer temperatures.
Yeah, I looked at the forecast today. Good weather almost the entire homestand.
That's great.
A strike. And another full count. Tie-breaking run at third base with 2 outs. The pitch to Nick is swung on and missed. And Williams pitches out of 4th inning trouble. Ryan Howard leads off the Phillies. He's already homered. It's a 3-3 score. Ryan Howard turned in, our Toyota key play of the game.
Got a pitch up, launched it in the seats, and that 2-run lead turned into a 3-2 deficit quickly. He's up near the top of a lot of different categories for the Phillies, including home runs. He's second only to Mike Schmidt, fourth in RBIs and slugging percentage.
And now Ryan Howard with 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. Phillies have hit 11 homers this season, averaging 2.4 runs a game. And a ground ball foul to the Philly dugout, strike 1.
Well, he kept throwing him off speed pitches in the first inning and got ahead of him. But the success comes from fastballs. He's had a hard time catching up to good fastballs. So you take your chances with pitches like that.
Howard goes the other way. That's well hit. And Combs, an excellent jump, makes a catch, and on the slide records the first out.
Johnny's playing some left field, isn't he? He's made 2 good throws in the last 2 games. Nice play there.
Well, the MLB Network the other day called him Johnny Gomez, so maybe he's playing like Carlos.
Well, he's a rookie, and he hadn't been around long. Just learning his name, I guess.
Ball to Cesar Hernandez. He bounced out after the Howard homer in the opening inning. Back to the mound, and an easy play for Trevor. He's got that. And there's out number 2. Boy, a couple of very odd games for Trevor Cahill in his first 3 with the Braves. First one, just getting his feet wet, got clobbered. Last start, all ground ball outs. First 4 innings or so until he ran out of gas. And today, the exact opposite. Most everything's been in the air here in Philadelphia.
Right. But the last 2 innings, actually the last 2 2/3 have been good.
And another dribbler back to the mound. That should and will be easy. Cahill needed that. A 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. We go to the 5th. Part of the order up for the Braves.
Right stuff, low price every day.
Braves fans having a good time here in Philly, although unlike Jen, that young lady's not enjoying a cheesesteak.
Well, we were just late showing it. She had devoured it. She had heard about Jen, and she was trying to make sure she beat her time, which is hard to do.
As Jen reported last night, the Braves are the 4-time Major League Baseball cheesesteak eating clubhouse here in Philly. Now, of course, we're here 9 or 10 times a season, so there's plenty of opportunity. But as Joe pointed out, the Pittsburgh Pirates come in here for 3 or 4 games, and look at what they did.
I saw Matt Latos' name on there too as a guy who kind of holds the one-day record.
Really?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was 4 or 6, something like that.
Sharply hit. Nice pick by Hernandez. 360 spin, and Simmons is the first out.
Tell you, Anderton's swinging it.
Yeah.
He's swinging bat so well right now. That was a pitch kind of in on him a little bit, and he didn't try to go out and around it and get jammed. Kept his hands inside the baseball, smoked it. Really looks good at the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. This ball was hit hard.
Freddie Freeman doubled and scored the game-tying run back in inning number 3 for the Braves. Another shot down the left field line, and Freeman might have another double. He's around first. He's digging for 2. Here comes the throw. It's off target. And when Freddie Freeman starts doing that, that's a sign of good things to come. Pair of doubles on the day, and he represents the go-ahead run.
And this may be by design. It may be that he's trying to do this early in the count. Another mistake with location. They left the ball up and out over the plate. He went the other way with it. Perfectly placed. They'll have to rethink that shift, perhaps.
Johnson rifled one off Ryan Howard's glove. That was ruled a double and an RBI. See if this dynamic duo can make it happen again. Nope. Kelly broke his bat. And Freeman's at third base with 2 outs. That's got to frustrate you. All Kelly was left with was the bad handle as it was broken in half about 6 inches from the knob.
That was a case where he tried to pull a pitch that perhaps he shouldn't have. And that was the end result, was that relay baton.
Johnny Gomes 1 for 2. Braves have 7 hits so far in the game.
And stopped by Rupp.
Anthony's a strike. Anything low's got a good chance being called today. Francoeur rung up on a questionable pitch. That one at the knees for an even count for Johnny. And he shoots one to left, but right at Revere. Gomes hit it hard. Braves are squaring up some fastballs today. Don't have much to show for it, but they're still tied entering the home 5th. pretty day for a ball game in Philadelphia. All smiles as we enjoy a 3-3 score time for our AT&T Universe trivia question. Shelby Miller, after a terrific start here in Philly, now owns the 7th best ERA in his first 4 starts with the Braves. Who has the best ERA in his first career starts with Atlanta?
Well, there's some choices there. I mean, the obvious ones are Maddox. I don't think it's Glavine and Smoltz because they had kind of rough beginnings.
Right,
remember?
Right.
So Maddox, Avery.
How about Aaron Harang? He was part of 2 shutouts last April.
I like it.
He was 3-1, I think, in his first 4 decisions. He pitched a great ball here the other night.
That's a great call.
As Freddie Galvis leads off, 8-9-1 coming up for the Phillies. Cahill settling in now. He's allowed just 2 base runners over the last 3 innings. And a strike.
It's a better breaking ball.
The next out Trevor records will be a new season high in innings pitched with the Braves. He had 4 innings in his last start. Two balls, 2 strikes. Hammered to right field, and it's a leadoff hit. Galvis is 2 for 2.
Well, he's having a good April. May have to move him around in the order.
I was just going to ask, how long can he hit 8th?
Got that front foot down in a hurry and let his hands do the work.
Galvis hit 2nd 8 times. This is his 9th assignment at the 8th spot. Now Williams tries to bunt. He does. It's a sacrifice. It's a good one. Galvis at 2nd, 1 out. Williams didn't have a sacrifice coming into today's game. He's got 2 of them today.
That's a bunt there where Williams had to lean back to kind of get out of the way. So he's going to be real slow coming out of the box. That's a play where you might take a shot at second base knowing you got time to still get him at first base. Watch how he bunts this. See how he's leaning back, slow getting out of the box, not running hard. If you're the catcher, you see that, you might say go ahead and go to second.
Now Ben Revere 1 for 2. Revere with 3 RBIs. 3-3 game. And Cahill does have a new season high in innings pitched, but he's in some trouble with the go ahead run in scoring position for the top of the Phillies order. A strike. Revere creeping up toward the 200 mark on the batting average line. He's at 190. Here we are again in a fateful 5th inning for Cahill.
Yeah, but the key here is just don't get in deep into this part of the lineup. Start getting down toward Utley, Francoeur, and Howard. Good pitch.
And now the count is 3-2.
Threw that sinker to throw it for a strike.
Line over Freeman's glove and into the right field corner. Galvis will come around and score. Revere around second. He's on his way to third, and he's going to make it standing up. It's triple. That's his third triple of the year, his fourth RBI, and the Phillies are back in front.
You know, that's almost the exact same pitch that Galvis hit. Looked like a breaking ball. Maybe I'd have to look at it again. I don't think it was a sinker. It might have been a breaking ball trying to go back foot and didn't get it there.
So a rare extra base hit for Ben Revere.
No, it was just a sinker. But target was away. Pitch came inside. Just an identical pitch that Galvis dropped the barrel on.
So Roger McDowell out for a chat. You've got Herrera and Utley coming up. And Ian Thomas begins to loosen in the Braves pen. Herrera has reached base twice, and he's scored a run. He's also 1 for 2 in the stolen base department. The infield comes in for the Braves with 1 out. And a big swing and a miss.
They've had luck coming in on him, trying to tie his hands up. But as a result, he's still trying to pull the ball, which is a heads up for Freeman and Peterson on the right side.
Pop fly foul and out of play. Here's the Phillies team that likes to swing the bat. They entered play today with just 43 walks in their first 18 games. Herrera has 4 of them in 63 official at bats. So if you have a chance, you've got a good chance to get ahead of this kid. That's what Trevor's done. 0-2. And now a ball, or still an 0-2 count to Odubel Herrera.
He was doing a lot of stretching, bending over at the waist. It was like his back's tight. I haven't seen him do that until this inning.
Ben Revere tripled home Freddie Galvis to put the Phillies back in front. And foul again.
The other night when the Phillies won on that ground ball to first that Freddie booted, they were going on contact. And it looked like Galvis might be doing the same thing there.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Herrera couldn't check his swing, and he's out number 2. Now the infield can back up, but it's no easier. You still have Chase Utley coming up.
Yeah, a big out there for Cahill. They're going to put him on and pitch to Francoeur.
So Utley will be intentionally walked. It's the third walk for Cahill. And Francoeur 0 for 2 after contesting a called third strike his last time up. So first and third for the Phillies, who lead by a run, 2 outs.
It was the right idea, just the execution wasn't quite there, Jeff. This type of situation, challenge him, walk a guy in front of you to pitch to him. He's going to be aggressive early in the count, but that off-speed pitch, while a good idea, wasn't put where they needed it.
Sharply hit to second. Peterson's got it, and the throw to first is in time. The strategy works. Trevor Cahill's threw 5 for the first time as a Brave, but the Phillies touch him for the go-ahead run. 4-3 Philadelphia. Game summary time, game 3, Braves and Phillies. The Fightins are up a run.
Yeah, good to see Freddie Freeman break out today with a couple of opposite field doubles. Chase Peterson a big RBI hit in the first inning.
And he answers the bell first here in the Braves 6th. Peterson, Bethancourt, Young, and then the pitcher spot for Atlanta. Penn continues to work. The pitch to Chase is a strike. As I told you, the Braves are home to face Washington tomorrow. The Phillies head to St. Louis. As this ball's hit high in the air towards center field, Herrera should track it down and does. It's a big story out of St. Louis. No official word yet, but most published reports are saying that Adam Wainwright may be lost for the season for the Cardinals.
That was an awful looking sequence last night watching the replay, because having been there and done that, I knew exactly what he felt when he started to break for first base from the plate and then looked back.
Bethancourt skies one to shallow right. Francoeur is there and has it.
As is so typical with a lot of Achilles tears, the person who suffers that injury thinks that somebody stepped on him, got hit, and he looked back, and he said later he thought maybe the catcher's mask hit him. So when I heard him say that, when I saw him look back, I had a real good idea what he felt and what the possibilities are. They're going to have an MRI done on his Achilles and ankle tomorrow.
And that's a shame for baseball fans everywhere. We know Wainwright's a Georgia kid. He's Braves farmhand, superstar pitcher for the Cardinals. He's such a good guy and a good competitor. The game suffers when great players like he get hurt. And hopefully it won't be as serious as it appeared on the video.
Yeah, and he said that he had really begun to feel good. He missed some time in spring training with an oblique or rib cage or side injury of some kind. So he was just rounding into form. Just awful.
2 strikes. Young pops it up. This will be a very easy inning if Herrera catches it in center. It carries out nicely to him, and on 7 pitches the Braves are out and Cahill goes back to work. Ryan Howard greets him first. Phillies up 4-3. For those of you around Braves country who get to listen to the Braves games on radio, there's Hall of Famer Don Sutton on your left, Jim Powell on the right. Don will be elected to the Braves Hall of Fame July 20th when the Dodgers are in town. And there's Grandma Giffen. Brian Giffen always knows when the camera's on the radio booth. Has to come in and drop off the needless promo.
It's just a blank piece of paper
before play starts. But something else you didn't know about Jim Powell. We found out on this trip, he is an unbelievable connoisseur of chicken pot pie.
Yeah, where does that come from?
I don't know. So he asked us to ask Braves country if all of you wonderful cooks and chefs out there could send him your favorite pot pie recipe to his attention at the ballpark. He would love that. His lovely wife Emmy is a terrific cook herself, and she'd like to try out those recipes for Jim.
Yeah, I thought it was an odd request, but you know, he likes to eat healthy.
So you can send those to Jim's attention at Turner Field in Atlanta, and we'll let you know which one he likes best as soon as all the entries are acquired. Here's Ryan Howard. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he reaches out, pokes it right into the shift. Had him played perfectly. Kelly Johnson handled the sinking liner. 1 down.
Kelly plays the outfield a lot, as you know, so he can play out there as deep as he needs to play and still throw him out on a ground ball that gets through. The funny part is after he catches this ball, he has to then start hustling back to third base because it's going to take him a while to get there.
He wants the NBA 20-second timeout rule before the next pitch.
Right.
So that's going to look really odd in the scorebook.
How do we score it?
Well, that's what the Marlins question was. With Tommy Hutton and Rich Walls, they said Howard hit a couple of balls like that, and you put in your scorebook, line out to the third baseman, but the third baseman's playing where the second baseman would.
Right. I think for the first time in my professional career, I'm going to write LR. Lined out to the rover.
Hey, man, there's been some creative scoring in Major League Broadcasting booths. Remember Phil Rizzuto, voice of the Yankees? He'd get going on a tangent, be talking to the guys in the booth. He'd do whole innings where he wouldn't mention a guy's name, not a single player's name, and then they'd ask him what happened in the inning. He'd go back and look at his book, and he'd have WW, which stood for wasn't watching. So, yeah, all the shifts create some problems as Mike Schmidt looks thrilled that the Fanatic is in the Phillies TV booth.
It's the Fanatic's birthday today, and he had some special guests, which are also in the booth.
If I were Tom McCarthy, I'd be careful of that yellow character. We saw him gobble up one of the umpires in between innings a minute ago. Ground ball to short. Anderson's got it, and that will retire the side. A 10-pitch inning for Trevor Cahill. That'll be the end of the line for him. His spot's due up first when we head to the 7th. It's a dangerous place to be an umpire in Philadelphia. The Phillies eating up the Braves. It's 4-3. For Cahill, the first time he takes the ball 6 innings in rotation for Atlanta.
One of his keys today was 4+2. He did that. But he leaves trailing a run.
And Phil Gosselin will grab the bat and pinch hit for him. 9-1-2 in the 7th for Atlanta. Markakis and Simmons to follow against Jerome Williams, who continues his good work in rotation for the Phillies. He had a real oddity. In fact, he did something last year, Joe, that had never been done before in Major League history. As this ball's beaten into the ground to second, and Chase Utley's got it. Williams started in the American League with Houston, then with Texas. And he beat the Oakland A's 3 times last year. But that's not the oddity, is it?
No, he beat him 3 times with 3 different teams. Houston, Texas, and Philadelphia in April, July, and September.
strike for Markakis.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
But good for him. I mean, he's come to Philadelphia and has been a godsend. He's 5-3 with a 3.0 ERA since putting on the Phillies uni.
And he's given up 3 runs today. He's given them a chance to win, and they've got the lead.
Markakis jammed and pops it back out of play.
I was just looking a little closer at Cahill's numbers, and his other key was right-handed hitters who had been hitting him pretty hard, 8 for 16 coming in. They don't have a hit today. The lefties have all 5 hits, including the home run by Howard.
Off the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Third time Ian Thomas has been up. He figures to pitch next. Pop up down the left field line near the tarp. Hernandez slams on the brakes. He has no play.
I'll tell you one thing that Williams has done the last couple of innings, really dating back to Markakis' last at bat when he struck out, is that he's keeping the ball away from the lefties and just kind of luring them to go after pitches just like that one, to try to cover some pitches that are too close to take. He got Peterson to do that.
And that's outside.
And try it again.
Well, Cole Hamels will get the ball for the Phillies in St. Louis Monday. And they're very excited about Severino Gonzalez. He was the organizational pitcher of the year last year for the Phillies. He'll make his big league debut against the Cardinals on Tuesday night. So they have some veteran guys in rotation, but now going to add a kid named Gonzalez in a spot start. Popped up at second base. Chase Utley on the outfield grass has that for the second out.
Nick would like to have that pitch back. We were talking about the Philly fanatic, and they were celebrating today his birthday. Well, they also did a great thing here in the ballpark in connection with that. Theoretically, the fanatic was born in the Galapagos Islands, and what the Phillies organization did was they gave away a trip to the islands.
There's a base hit for Simmons. He's rewarded after making solid contact all day, and he's the tying run.
Another rocket. 10 days, 9 nights in the Galapagos Islands for 2 people. Like $15,000 trip that somebody won today on a lucky seat draw. That's a pretty cool gift.
Yeah, very cool gift. I think we were told that the Phillies do a cruise down there every year, every other year or so. And they did a wonderful job of shooting a promotional video that they run in the stadium where the fanatic meets all the sea turtles and the seals and the beluga whales and all that stuff. And another opportunity for a member of the Phillies fandom to head down to that remarkable place on earth. Great day for Jerome Williams. He leaves with a lead in the 7th inning with 2 outs.
AT&T Uverse, Delta Airlines, and your local Ford dealer.
Two-day celebration for the one and only Philly fanatic. As we wrap up this set at Citizens Bank Park, Luis Garcia is the new Phillies pitcher, and he'll face Freddie Freeman, who's been red hot. 2 doubles today. That's what Garcia likes to do.
Well, they were surprised yesterday. Most of the people around the Phillies organization that Diekman came in before this guy. This guy's been kind of their 7th inning setup man, and he was the 2nd man called in the 7th inning yesterday, and by that time the damage had been done. Throws hard, has a good slider. Mid-90s and up fastball. As you said last night, the Paul Owens Award winner for their minor leagues as the outstanding pitcher last year.
Freeman, 2 opposite field doubles today. And a 1-1 pitch is low and inside. 2 balls and a strike. When he's right, Garcia gets the ball on the ground 6 out of every 10 times. Contact is made. 2-1 pitch. And that's fouled at the plate. 2-2.
Everything's been in this at bat, trying to tie him up. Now away.
And Freddie spoiled it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bottom part of the order coming up for the Phillies in the 7th. Ian Thomas continues to loosen, or was loosening in the bullpen. And foul again. Good eye. Full count.
Chance for a double to score Andrelton Simmons, since he can go on the pitch.
Outfield very deep.
Nice ball away. See if he can put it there.
Runner goes. Freeman bounces it up the middle. The shift was on. A nice play at short by Galvis. He got a running start. He retires Freeman and sends our game to the 7th inning stretch, where the Phillies lead by a run. The Philly fanatic celebrating birthday number 37 today. He was officially born 37 years ago yesterday. Nice cake, nice card. Don't know if the fanatic can read or not, but all the other mascots were around. They had a big band, dance party.
His mom was here. Her name is Phoebe.
And he's the guy riding the ostrich. Amazing. He's great. He's a lot of fun. And look, biggest crowd of the series for the Philly Fanatics' birthday here at Citizens Bank Park. So into the bullpen we go. It's Ian Thomas's turn to pitch for the Braves. Encouraging signs yesterday for a group, Joe, that at times on the road trip has had its share of issues.
And for Ian, his third outing of the season. There, the look at the numbers on the Coors Cold Hard Facts. Not near as many strikeouts in the last 8 games over that stretch. A lot higher batting average. Ian, 1 1/3 innings, no hits or runs, 3 walks though, and 1 strikeout. Can't give him any more.
Galvis will lead off, and Thomas with a strike. Andres Blanco has a bat. He'll hit next.
It will be interesting to see who pitches the 8th. If Papelbon's available today, or if it'll be Ken Giles who works the 8th and then Papelbon. Ken Giles is up now.
Papelbon was unavailable the first game of the series. He was home with an illness. We were told it was migraines, and then he made it to the ballpark last night. Don't know if he would have been available. His role wasn't needed because the Phillies were trailing 5-2. It looks like he's getting ready to pitch the 9th. If the Phillies maintain the lead, they're up 4-3. And a line drive into center field. Galvis is hotter than a $5 pistol, as they say. 3 singles, and he scored a run.
It's about dancing Bobcat time for Freddie Galvis. He has that very odd stance, not a whole lot unlike Herrera, but right-handed. He's got his front foot almost out of the box. Brings it back and then leveled off on a high fastball.
Blanco hitless in his last 7 tries. And he lays down a bunt. Thomas will let Freeman field it. It's sacrifice. Phillies playing for a run now with the top of the order coming up. They've gotten 3 sacrifices out of the 9 spot in their lineup today.
They had 3 out of the 9 spot Friday night.
So those are some of the fundamental little things that Ryan Sandberg's been preaching to his ball club to do better work on. Paid off Friday night. It's paying off today. Big insurance run at second now. Lefty-lefty matchup. Thomas versus Revere. Revere's got 2 hits, including the go-ahead run-scoring triple his last time up. And Bethancourt out to talk to Thomas after he almost hit Big Ben. Line down the right field line, just foul.
One of the things the Braves need out of Ian Thomas is to get left-handed hitters out. A mistake pitch there that Revere almost kept fair.
That was a concern in spring training among the candidates vying for jobs in the bullpen from the left side.
Yeah, it was hard to find anyone who was getting a left-handed hitter out in spring training.
Nope. Lefty's hitting .250 against Luis Avilan. Thomas has held him to 0 for 3 coming into play today.
And Revere's just 2 for 17 against him here at the start of the season.
And there's a big breaking ball that caught a corner. Big pitch. And a nice pitch for the second out of the inning.
Big one. Big hook. And again, just tuning in and not sure about that. Where he caught it. It's not where he catches it, but where it crossed the plate. Big out.
Odubel Herrera, the batter, he's bounced into, he's flown into a force play, I should say. He's walked, struck out, stolen a base, and has been caught stealing today. And as I said, he wants to swing the bat.
Yeah. Same pitch, another curveball, and a good one from Thomas. And this guy's hit lefty as well, 7 for 13.
Strike 2. That painted a corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Bounce to the right side. Freeman's got it. Fast runner. And off the pitcher's glove. Streaking around and scoring is Galvis. He never stopped running. And the Phillies steal a 5th run.
He went back to the curveball and he rolled over the top of it, but he hit it right in between Peterson and Freeman. And with his speed, it's a foot race then. And the underhand toss there was kind of slow, going over to Thomas covering and behind him. I don't know if they would have beaten him anyway.
But they charge Freeman with an error. No RBI as Galvis scored on a ground ball to the first baseman. That makes it a 5-3 Phillies game. And now Utley hits. That's 9 errors for the Braves in the last 6 games.
That is a big run.
Utley cranks one down the right field line, foul. Now the crowd sun splashed. Lovely day in Philly. 28,702 the announced crowd. away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
One of the things about Chase Utley's swing that's always been so pretty, and even emphasizes it in his practice swing, is how much he uses that top hand. He waits. He's real quiet at the plate with his stance and his hands. That top hand is explosive.
If you've got a son or daughter playing baseball, softball, and they hit left-handed, I don't think you could do much wrong in trying to teach them that stance, that stroke. It's been great for Utley over his marvelous career with the Phillies. He took that one high and tight, 2-2. Fouled off Bethencourt's gear. 2-2 remains the count.
Well, he's gotten out to this inning with his curveball. I know it's 3-2. You got Francoeur on deck, but you're already down 2. I don't know that I'd give in with a fastball here to Utley. I'd just try to make a good pitch with that good curveball.
Ground ball towards second. Peterson to his right. Makes the play, and that'll retire the side. Braves defense let him down in the 7th inning. It cost him a critical run. It's now a 5-3 game going to the 8th.
Fox Sports celebrates 50 years of the Atlanta Braves.
For Bark in the Park Day. The package includes a human ticket, a canine ticket, and a Braves ceramic dog bowl. Additional human tickets can be purchased at a discounted rate, but space is limited, so visit Braves.com/bark to secure your tickets today. Uphill climb for Atlanta, 6 outs left, and a big hard throwing man on to pitch for the Phillies.
He got the win here the other night by pitching the 9th inning. Walked a batter, but got a double play ball turned behind him. As we said then, we thought he would be the closer already for this ball club, except Jonathan Papelbon is still here.
And there's some teams looking for relief help. Wonder if it's not the Phillies asking price. I think it's the team that's trying to acquire Papelbon's asking price that's the holdup because of the guaranteed nature of his contract. They're not willing to pay a hefty load for the outspoken Phillies closer. Giles gets a ground ball. Kelly Johnson's out number 1 here in the 8th. Another good day for Johnny Gomes, the subject of our Lowe's Never Stop Improving feature.
2 homers, 7 RBIs. Doing a great job with men in scoring position. Has made a couple of really good defensive plays in this series, a couple of great throws. That guy's sliders are very effective because you got to be ready for his fastball, which is 94 and up.
Giles was a 7th round pick by the Phillies, signed by Phillies scout Brad Holland. 44 games last year, 64 strikeouts and 45 2/3 innings, and a 118 earned run average. Only 2 relievers had a higher strikeout rate than Ken Giles last year. Craig Kimbrell was second. Aroldis Chapman was first.
Cameron Rupp's done a good job behind the plate today. He helped get Jerome Williams through a couple of rough innings. I remember one blocked ball in the dirt with a runner at third, too, that saved a run.
Strike 3. Gomes is out number 2.
Now, this guy's a handful. That is a really good breaking ball.
So Jace Peterson, the final hope for the Braves, 8th, and he takes a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Young battery here for the Phillies. Cameron Rupp, the catcher's 26, former Texas Longhorn. He was a 3rd round pick in 2010 for Philadelphia. He has a chance to learn from Carlos Ruiz, the number 1 catcher for the Phillies.
Jace Peterson, after getting that clutch 2-out base hit in the 1st inning to drive in 2 runs, has hit 2 more lazy fly ball outs.
A walk would be nice. Braves need base runners. They need 2 runs to tie. They led 2-0 after a half inning, but Ryan Howard's 1st inning homer gave the Phillies the lead. And now a full count. The Mets play tonight. They've got the Yankees on the Sunday night extravaganza. Washington's losing to the Marlins 6-2 in the 9th inning. Here it's 5-3 Phillies. And there's the walk. Thank you very much.
Good at that.
Same way, same way. Come on, let's go.
And Christian Bethancourt will be the hitter. He's 1 for 3 today.
I see that San Francisco and Colorado were postponed That snow.
I was wondering the same thing. Good rip, fouled straight back. And nothing in one. Mike Foltynewicz pitched to Gwinnett today and had a good start. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 9 more strikeouts. He did walk 3 batters though. But he's had a terrific run for Brian Snitker's club.
Yeah, his ERA going into that game was 1.62.
1 ball, 1 strike. Jason Hirsch at AA Mississippi gave up a couple of runs in 6 innings yesterday, and Daniel Castro up to 22 hits. That's good for second in the Southern League ranks.
Another good trip to the mound here for the Phillies catcher. Could be that he noticed Giles after walking. Peterson is just trying to throw everything so hard he's not getting the best out of it, especially his breaking ball. And made some good pitches with the breaking ball to Gomes.
Christian right on that, but fouled it away. And he's down to his last strike. 2-2 the count. Rupp blocked that. But it's a full count. And Peterson will get a head start. And Papelbon has begun to loosen in the Phillies' pen. Runner goes. Pitch driven toward right. Francoeur will drift back onto the warning track. And that retires the side. Giles sets it up for Papelbon and the Phillies going to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 5-3 Fightins. Coming up for the Braves. We'll tell you about that in a moment as we get our first look at Michael Kahn, who's up with the big league club for the first time after 5 games with AAA Gwinnett.
Signed with the Braves in the offseason as a minor league free agent. He's from Camden, South Carolina, so he's been a big Braves fan his whole career, his whole life. Has a lot of time in the big leagues with the Angels, 3 years total. Missed the 2012 season with Tommy John surgery. Last year, 25 games with the Angels. He was 2-1 with a 3.04 ERA. All the appearances in relief.
It'll face Jeff Francoeur to start the Phillies' 8th. Control was the big issue for Michael in the spring.
Yes, it was. May have been the primary reason he didn't make the club. He walked a bunch of guys and probably trying real hard to make an impression and couldn't throw strikes.
8 strikeouts, 8 walks in 8 innings and a third this spring. Despite that, opponents hit just 179 against him. And he's promptly missed with 3 straight. Francoeur has a 4-game hitting streak. That's on the line with his 8th inning at bat. And on 4 pitches, he's on his way to first. So, Jen, an inauspicious debut for Michael Kahn.
Yeah, and it was exactly what Joe was talking about when I talked to Michael a couple of days ago. But what he worked on, what he took out of spring, and it was throw strikes. So obviously he's struggling a little bit with that there. But he said the 2 things he focused on, being able to cut down on the walks and then stretch out and go multiple innings, something he really hadn't done in his time with the Angels, but that he's been working on since he's been at AAA.
Yeah, that's an issue for the Braves. That's 28 walks issued by the Braves relief corps now in about 61 innings. That's a lot.
It's too many.
Ryan Howard hit his 49th career homer against the Braves, turning around a 2-0 Atlanta advantage against Trevor Cahill. And that one's hammered towards center. But Young's going to catch it shy of the track. Howard stroked that one solidly, but he's out number 1. Here's Hernandez. He is 0 for 3. Trevor Cahill started for the Braves, his longest stint in rotation, but he gave up 4 runs in 6 innings, including the Howard homer. Jerome Williams gave up 3 runs, 8 hits in his 6 2/3 today. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Final in Miami, the Marlins beat Washington again. That's a 6-2 score.
It's 5 wins in a row for Miami.
They beat them 8-0 yesterday. So they're playing a lot better.
I think that was Gio Gonzalez, too, who typically pitches real well down in Florida.
Versus Dan Herron. Marlins beat Steven Strasburg yesterday. Marlins Park's another National League Eastern Road park that Strasburg struggles in. Popped up. Bethancourt, Kelly Johnson. It'll be the Braves catcher in the shadows. And Hernandez is retired. That's the second out. And here's Cameron Rupp.
That's played by Christian. I was watching Kelly Johnson more than I was watching Christian there, because I know the third baseman wants to call him off if he can. Kelly just couldn't get there in time.
So 2 outs. And here is Rupp.
Nothing wrong with his arm.
in the air toward right. Markakis into the corner, and he runs out of real estate. Yeah, I'm with you. That's big hombre.
Yeah, that's just what he's listed at. 255. He's solid.
Good fastball had him swing and miss. It's now 1-2.
Reminds me of another Phillies catcher that spent some time with the Braves, Todd Pratt.
Tank.
Yep.
Was Todd's nickname. And he popped him up. Peterson drifts out. He says he's got it. He's called off. And Young with a good job took command, and that ends inning number 8. 9-1-2 coming up for the Braves. Last call. They got to face Jonathan Papelbon.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express
third. Hope you'll join us for a big 4-game set with Brian Price's Cincinnati ball club. They've got some really good players. Joey Votto, Aroldis Chapman, and Anthony DeSclafani has been a revelation for them in rotation. Might see him at Turner Field. Every Friday night is Georgia Lottery fireworks. Every Sunday is Alumni Sunday. Hope you'll join us. Before we get to the top of the 9th inning, let's revisit the AT&T trivia question. Shelby Miller has the 7th best ERA in his first 4 starts as a Brave. Who's first?
I like your idea. I'm going to stick with Avery.
Avery? I'll go Aaron Harang. See if either one of us is right. Milt Pappas. Man who lost a perfect game on a 3-2 pitch with Bruce Fleming behind the plate while pitching for the Cubs. This is Eric Young. He's facing Jonathan Papelbon, who delivers a strike.
Papelbon's off to a great start. There are the saves and as many opportunities. 6 in the 3rd innings. He's only given up 1 hit and no walks. He's not throwing as hard as he used to. Low 90s. Slider and a split.
Papelbon raised some eyebrows in Philadelphia when he was asked if he'd be disappointed if he was a Philly after the trading deadline. And Papelbon said, yeah, I would be. Not because he doesn't want to win here, but he doesn't want to lose here. There's the 0-2 pitch, which is popped up and headed for the seats beyond the Braves on deck circle. It's still an 0-2 count. The Blue Jays are rumored to be looking for closing help. The Nationals the Tigers. 3 teams that may have or may not have Jonathan Papelbon on their radar. And he said, look, I'd love to win here. If you win in Philadelphia, that'd be the ultimate. But the fact of the matter is, last year and this year, rebuilding seasons for the Phillies. Ground ball towards short. Galvis charged. He's had a nice series, and he got Young for out number 1.
He's played really well. Good read on that ground ball with a fast man running. Charged and made the throw on the run.
Callaspo will pinch hit for Michael Kahn. Worked a scoreless inning with a walk. So that'll be an interesting story to follow with the Phillies and Jonathan Papelbon. A, does anybody want him? B, will they take on the salary this year and next year? Don't know.
Braves need a base runner to have the tying run come to the plate. If Alberto can get on, you've got those guys at the top of the order who have been placed there because they've been swinging the bat well.
And those guys are Markakis, and then Simmons, and then Freddie Freeman, perhaps.
Callaspo 0 for 5 against Papelbon in his career, but get on any way you can.
Swing drive, deep right field. Francoeur is going to go back. He's going to take the grand tour. A solo home run.
That's a good way to get it going. First run he's allowed. And the Boo Birds are out. Man, Alberto, that got out of here in a hurry.
As he made his way to the dugout, he kind of shrugged his shoulders. Yeah, I do that all the time.
So that unearned run in the 7th inning is looming huge right now.
Now it's the top of the order. Markakis. The Braves are down a run. 5-4 game. And a strike. And you're right, it doesn't take the Philly fans much to get back into midseason boo. That's a laced foul by Nick. Markakis has hit him hard, 5 for 18. And he fought that off. That pitch was hittable. He wishes he had it back. It's still 0-2.
Papelbon had his problems with the Braves in the past, but last year he kind of got that straightened out. He only gave up 1 earned run in 7 innings in his 7 games against the Braves and recorded 4 saves.
Chipper Jones had a real memorable walk-off home run against Papelbon in Atlanta a couple years back. A 5-4 score. And Markakis didn't get it. Papelbon pulled a string. He thought he might have tipped it.
Well, I think he did tip it, but he was hoping to hit the dirt first. Oh boy, you know what, he trapped that on the ground. That definitely hit in the dirt.
Yep. And Freddie Gonzalez is asking for help from the other umpires, and Mike DeMuro's calling on Papelbon to deliver the baseball to see if there's a scuff on it.
Definitely one hopped into the catcher's glove. And the reason you know he foul tipped it was because Rupp turned around and showed the umpire the ball like, I caught it. I'm guessing that's not reviewable.
So 2 outs. Simmons, the final hope for the Braves. He stung the ball all day today. There's another foul ball. Strike one. Line drive by Simmons, a base hit. So here's where it gets fun. Now it's Papelbon versus Freeman, and one swing of the bat for the Braves first baseman could turn the game around in Atlanta's favor.
And Andrelton's hit the ball hard 5 times today. Freddie 2 for 7 against him in his career.
Pair of doubles and a run scored for Freddie. Simmons at first, 2 out. Ball 1.
Outfielders all very deep. Infield not shifted like they were.
Hey,
2-0. He has to be careful with Freeman, but he can't be too careful. A walk puts the tying run in scoring position. Foul away, 2 balls and a strike.
They've not had a lot of luck with Freddie today keeping the ball away from him. Had better luck trying to keep it in on him. Maybe a back foot slider here. Hang it.
That was the pitch, but not close enough to swing at. 3 balls and a strike.
It's a tough pitch to lay off. That was not a bad spot to locate it.
3-1. And Freeman walks. Remember, Papelbon was not available Friday. We're not sure if he was available yesterday. He's in the game today. He's allowed a homer, a single, and a walk. And with 2 outs, Kelly Johnson's the batter. A single could tie it up.
That was really a good walk, too, knowing Freddie wanted to jack one out of here.
We're home to face the Nationals beginning tomorrow night. Eric Stoltz and Doug Fister on Monday night. Julio Teheran will get the ball in game 2. And Alex Wood, Jordan Zimmerman will get the ball in game 3. Scherzer is scheduled to pitch against Julio on Tuesday, but he's got a sore thumb. They're not sure if he'll be able to take the ball for the Nationals in the middle game of the series. Hope you'll join us.
Be a good spot right here for Kelly to get his first career hit off Papelbon. Good cut.
Tried to ambush him and fouled it back. Strike 1.
Outfield can't play deep like they did before. Got to come in and play straight up. Very good arm and right. Average arms in center and left.
Fly ball, pretty well hit. Back goes Revere on the warning track. He's got it. Up against the fence. Revere tracked it down, and Jonathan Papelbon hangs on in the top of the 9th inning to beat the Braves. The Phillies take 2 out of 3 from Atlanta. Jerome Williams beats Trevor Cahill. And in 2 hours and 38 minutes, it's a 5-4 Philadelphia final. Back to Citizens Bank Park to recap it after this.